Hello everybody and welcome back to pravusgaming and we're Plague Inc. Evolved Custom Scenarios. I know in the last video we suggested we might take a little break from Plague Inc., but at the time I'm recording this, well, that video hasn't gone live yet, and I got a couple more requests and I don't want to leave people in the lurch. So we'll play a couple more out, and then maybe we'll take a break. I don't know, it kind of depends on you guys and your reaction there. Believe it or not, I don't always know what I'm doing. Sometimes I just play things by ear. Today we are playing a scenario called Addiction, and there are many addiction scenarios in Plague Inc., but we are looking for one specifically. There it is. The one written by KDL Pro. Addiction is a complex disease, often chronic in nature, which affects the functioning of the brain and body. Actually, just real quick, had a thought here. Do you guys pronounce this word often or often? Like, do you pronounce the T, is what I'm trying to ask. Because I find that sometimes I bounce between the two. I can never really make up my mind. I just now use the T, but I don't always do that. It's a little bit weird. More on the Plague if you play it thanks to the limitations in Mobile Creator. Oh, using the Mobile Creator, eh? Well, let's see if it's any good. Nerex Worm, which makes sense. It affects the brain. Metabolic Jump, Genetic Mimic, Terrasite Extremophile, and Symptostasis. Normal difficulty, no easy allowed. And your Hyrus. Ooh, how clever are you? Welcome to Addiction. Your worm may be nimble. It may be quick. It might even jump over a candlestick, but it can hide in phones and drugs. Can you enslave or kill everyone before every scientist finishes the cure? Every scientist? Probably. I don't have to outrace all the scientists, just every one of them. And believe it or not all scientists are created equal. Some are dumber than others. So as long as I beat 1% of the scientists, I win. That's what you've promised me. Anything less than that will make me sad. I mean, obviously, I'm just being facetious here at this point. Transmission. Gaming era. Starts the era of games. There's no turning back. Oh, I see. Okay, so I was assuming that this scenario was going to go in a direction of, like, I don't know, tobacco and cocaine and whatever the heck else. But it appears the author also wants to imply that video games can be addictive, which is totally true. Anything that gives you enough endorphins in the brain can be somewhat of an addiction at some level. Yeah, it doesn't have the physical components, but, you know, anything that brings you that sense of validation, accomplishment, self-worth, it's going to be very enticing, and if you have it in too much excess, well then, bad things might happen to your brain, and you might become a little bit dependent on it. Certainly see some personality changes if it's ever taken away from you. And that is why, I think I've done this before recently, but that is why I encourage my followers to go outside. Finish this video, give me my ad revenue, okay? But then, after this video is done, go outside, get the wind on your face, some sun in your eyes, and build character, all right? I encourage balance in my community. MOBA games. Developers now try to create multiplayer online battle arena games such as Dota and Mobile Legends, causing people to play games and inducing addiction too. 1v1 online games. Freemium online games that focus on 1v1 strategy storm the world in the form of Clash Royale, among others, more effective in the poor countries than the wealthy areas, because freemium games appeal mostly to the poor, which is entirely untrue, as my wife is particularly addicted to freemium games, and they're terrible, and I mock her relentlessly for it. Casino. People start going to the casino to play poker, thus wasting money. Only if you're bad at poker, okay? People who are good at it can make a pretty good penny, but I am not one of those people. The only time I've ever played poker, I lost 50 bucks. Ironically, even though I had like a really good hand, I think I calculated I had like an 84% chance of winning that hand. I lost 50 bucks. I'm not salty about it at all. Effective in the wealthy countries. Okay. Substance addiction. People can get addicted by taking addictive substances. There's the other stuff I was expecting. Okay, so we have our cigarettes. We have drugs, which is apparently prohibited drugs during drug sessions. Now, as somebody who has never done drugs and never intends to in my life, I don't even like taking prescription medication. I don't know if I would call them drug sessions, but maybe that is the proper terminology. I have no idea. Beer, on the other hand, I am very familiar with. I love me a good double bock. The worm's eggs survive in alcoholic beverages. That is disgusting. Boosted in the rural and urban regions. Symptoms, we have our neural breach and our cerebral tentacles, or tendrils, sorry. This looks like it's so far the standard symptoms tree, but we'll see if it deviates in the future. Abilities, we have our cold, heat, and drug resistance and Trojan planes. So far, only customization in the transmissions. We'll see if anything new comes out of it. The drug era has begun. Drug pushers, addicts, and lords operate hidden from the government, persuading individuals to take drugs in order to infect them. Will drugs become the new god? I mean, I don't know, it depends. Some could argue that anything you are addicted to has become your idol because you just can't live without it and you devote yourself to it. Maybe? I don't know. The era of gaming has begun. Thank God. Only happened in 2017, a little bit late. Game developers are currently creating games for everyone to play, as opposed to a select group. Bunch of bigots. However, the developers didn't know that they are being influenced by a mysterious force beyond their control. And by that joke that I'm trying to make there is like the whole women can't be included in gaming thing. Totally untrue, by the way. I've known some girls who are freaking awesome at gaming. But for a long time, we thought it was very much a guy thing. I like that it's branching out a little bit. As long as I still get my good old-fashioned strategy games, I don't care. Do you want to go for the MOBA games? Let's go for the online games. That leads to Game Hype 1. People are so hyped about a game, mobile or online, that they tend to board on boats and planes often to share the news. Now, if this were Pokemon Go, that would make a little bit of sense. People travel across the world trying to get region-exclusive Pokemon. But outside of that, I don't know. Would I do that for an online mobile game that's not going to reward my exploration? Probably not. Clash Royale certainly doesn't deserve me getting on a boat or a plane. That's expensive, yo! But we'll do it anyway, because I like the ability to travel around a little bit. Let's get some more infection in Saudi Arabia, see if we can't hop on a plane and get around a little bit faster. Let's also go for the casino, since it is pretty infective. A new casino will be established in a random country. All right, so we have a level of Spore Burst. Well, this is the Nurax worm, so I don't really need to hold on to this for Greenland, because ideally we're going to get a lot of Trojan planes anyway. So the sooner I pop it, probably the better for score, especially if it ends up taking me to a new continent that I currently do not have affected, so let's do that. A casino has been built in Canada. Hey, it worked! No, wait, you said it was in Canada, but it was built in Australia. But that... How... But... What? Well, I feel robbed. It's not at all what I expected. Frontal mesh. All right, we'll pick that up. Hey, look, customization, sharing. Gamers share information about the game to other gamers. Non-players that will hear it are encouraged to play the game. Okay, so social aspect, love it. Drug cravings. So presumably then, if you wanted to, you could be focusing on all the left-hand transmissions and symptoms to kind of follow a theming path. I guess that's what the author intended, and it kind of makes sense. Realistically, am I going to restrict myself in that way? No, not at all. I want to experience as much content as possible, but it is a thing. I'm going to go for a level of drug resistance here, and also let's pick up the Trojan plane so I can get around a little bit faster. Let's go ahead and knock out some of these islands. Probably actually should have gone to Brazil for a little bit of a faster spread in South America, just to kind of get that ball rolling, but it's okay. It's going to be fine. Do we want to go for the sharing? Sharing is caring after all, and a little bit of extra severity as we spread across the world will translate into extra DNA, so I'm okay with that. Teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work, increases cooperation among players, and spreads their skills to new players. People, they watch YouTube videos and learn how to play the game, and then try the maximum difficulty and find out, hey, watching somebody else who knows what they're doing is not the same thing as learning how to play the game myself. I am a horrible, abysmal failure. At least that's how I feel every time I try to watch someone play the maximum difficulty in Endless Legend. All right, let's go for the, I don't know if I need more casinos. We could go for extra... I could go for extra boats and planes, but really what I need is just max infectivity. Let's go for the 2v2 capability. Games like Clash Royale have 2v2 mode. I have never played Clash Royale, and I don't intend to. I'm really not much of a mobile game player, with the exception, apparently, of Pokemon Go. And for that, I blame Inyali entirely. Right, her brother started playing the game, and he got his girlfriend playing the game, and then she's like, it'd be really fun if we could play the game together as a group. And I'm like, fine, I'll play it. And then my old Pokemon addiction came back into full swing, and I started playing it religiously, and, well, now save me. Please, help me. I'm stuck. I could use some help. An intervention is necessary. MOBA addiction. Addicted players try to buy more items to advance in the game and encourage others to play the game. Powerful in the wealthy countries. Pay to win. For shame. Tournaments are held around the world to increase awareness of people to online games. Also purchase power. People start to purchase more, allowing the developers to give away free phones and laptops with pre-installed games. More people get to enjoy the game. Somehow, as a game developer, if I were a game developer, I don't think I would ever do that. I don't care how much money I've got. I'm never giving people free laptops with which to play my game unless I found that the data showed those who own a computer get a free computer for, like, let's say a cheap one of like $600 and will spend $800 over the course of their lifetime on my game. Then it would make sense, but I don't think the data will ever carry out that way. I am reading way too much into this scenario, aren't I? Let's go for some drug infection, because I want more transmission vectors, and let's explore this tree. Antidepressants slow the activity of the brain and nerves, acting directly on the central nervous system to create a calming effect, increasing infectivity. Marijuana. Ah, good, the old pigeons and weed meme on this channel. I love it. People can get infected by smoking marijuana, sharply increasing infectivity. Inhalants. The Nurex worm and its eggs can survive in inhalants. That's disgusting. And cocaine. The worm and its eggs can survive in burnt coca leaves, and cocaine, increasing infectivity in the rural areas. So I like that there's a lot of options here. I'm not sure if I want to go for any of those right now. I think I'd rather go for the obesity, because the gamers tend to eat a lot more junk food, thus increasing the risk of obesity, which is slightly severe, good in the rich countries. You say slightly, that's a pretty good amount of severity. Focused play. Players tend to focus more on their games, that they neglect important activities in their life. Slight reduction in infectivity, yet increases severity and cure work. So, okay, reduction in infectivity, but increases severity and cure work. You're saying the cure speeds up? Is that what you're saying? Because that doesn't sound like a very good price for me at all. Let's go for the drug cravings instead. I'm going to go for some more cold resistance. And I don't know if I need any of the other stuff, though, honestly. We're doing okay. Let's go for the purchase power, because it's very effective. What are we missing? The Baltic states and Morocco. Well, the Baltic states will fall pretty soon. Morocco tends to hold out on me a little bit. So we'll pick that up soon enough. So I don't see any lethality options. I guess we should kind of work down the tree and see if we can get to some sort of a Transcendence victory. Victorious hallucinations. Victims hallucinate about winning events even in their sleep. Okay, I'm not going to lie. I've had this happen. Absolutely. I have definitely dreamed about the games that I am playing. Sometimes when I get involved in a strategy game like Civilization or Europa Universalis, I will dream about the next steps in the game, like from where I left off. And sometimes it's even giving me ideas on what to do when I record next week. It's a little bit crazy, and again, I'm concerned for my mental health. Slows the cure progress and slightly increases the research work. Again, I don't know what you mean by this. Slows cure progress, got it. Slightly increases research work. Are you going to give it a boost here? Because this implies to me that it increases cure progress, but this slows it, so it evens out. That's just confusing. All right, well, let's pick it up. Forgetfulness. Addicted gamers neglect everything except playing games. Decreases infectivity, but slightly increases lethality due to hunger. Wasn't there a story about somebody in, I can't remember if it was Japan or Korea, probably Korea, honestly, who, like, played games until they died? I think that's not even the first time that's happened, if I recall correctly. Which is really terrifying when you think about it. Like, how much do you have to be so absorbed and neglect your own body to the point where you just plop over dead? It's a little bit nuts. All right, we're going to go for the forgetfulness. That leads to brain control. The worm multiplies inside the brain, allowing it not only to control the brain, but to willingly alter the person's memories and instincts hard to cure. That leads to memory alteration. The worms inside the brain alters the host's memories to better suit its purposes. That apostrophe is completely unnecessary. I mean, I would have made fun of you if you had done IT apostrophe yes, but you did ITS then the apostrophe, which is like doubly wrong, so just get rid of that. Harder to cure. And then finally we have adoration. Infected realize they love the worm is making them feel. Because of euphoria, the infected no longer want to participate in the cure, which I guess this isn't quite Transcendence. It just slows the cure down a ridiculous amount. So wait, how am I supposed to get enough DNA to actually win this scenario? Devotion, surges of dopamine and serotonin. Okay, this is normal. This typically would lead toward the Transcendence victory. I'm very concerned that I'm not going to have enough DNA because we don't really have much in the way of lethality. Honestly. There's the Transcendence. We need 38 more DNA somehow. Well, uh-oh. This suddenly becomes a problem. Why am I still getting a lot of DNA? What's happening? How am I getting these DNA points? No, but for real, I'm confused. How am I getting these DNA points? All right, Transcendence it is. That should slow the cure down a fair bit. Let's get another plane over here to Greenland and try to speed this up a little bit. They are just not infecting at all. Apparently, I need more cold resistance. For that, I need 25 more DNA. Here it comes. I've got some sort of a passive income for DNA. I'm not really sure what I did to deserve it, but okay. Wow, we were really having trouble in the cold countries. I'm surprised how necessary the second level was. Did we get a pop-up that I missed? That can happen on occasion. Iceland is apparently struggling here as well. Okay. Let's go for... I don't know what I want. I probably should save it for, like, genetic hardening and genetic reshuffles and stuff. Yeah, Iceland is struggling here a little bit. Well, at this point, I would say that we've pretty much won. Now it's just a matter of actually hitting that critical mass in Iceland, which we can make happen. Let's go for the beer. I think people in Iceland could really use a beer, right? There's not a lot else going on that island. Yeah, there we go. There we go. That worked. Okay, wonderful. So, yeah, now we have enslaved humanity, and everyone is addicted to something. Not a lot of people are plopping over dead from it, which is a little disappointing to me, but they're addicted, so victory for me, I suppose. 518 days, 46% cure progress, 91,000, 110 points, 3 stars. It's an okay scenario. I'm trying to decide how best to improve it, and I'm kind of drawing a blank here. Maybe not enough addiction sources. Like, the idea of the chemical dependence and stuff works. That was going in the right direction. There's a lot of different things that you can get addicted to, whether it comes to nicotine or alcohol or drugs of various different types. By the way, total side note, did you guys know you can actually die trying to go cold turkey on alcohol? It actually can happen, unlike most of the drugs. Total side message, but there you go. I'm thinking mostly of the video game side of things, which was a little bit on the weaker side. Now, unfortunately, that's what we focused our efforts on, so I can't say that the other side is a lot more balanced. I just wonder if maybe the video game stuff's a little bit too niche? But maybe not. I don't know. It's a critique that doesn't feel like a very fair critique. It's one of those things where as I'm saying it, it feels like I'm reaching a little bit. The scenario itself is perfectly fine. I'm just trying to think of any way to improve it. So if anybody has any ideas in the comment section down below, the author did express an interest in some feedback. So I'm sure they would love to hear what you would think makes this scenario better, and they can evaluate it as they see fit. Thank you all very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed. If so, then I ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.